And there is a sacred movement. And even as we prepared, decided, and chose to be here in this eternal moment, to be of service to the divine, for it is indeed our love of the divine above all things that moves us. It is the soul pulse. It is the divine pull. It is the divine energy that we sense, feel, and know. And so here we are in this moment. And in this moment, as this movement, this rhythm, this direction, this flow moves in, through, and around us from the highest realms of celestial light. The air becomes different. It becomes rarefied as the energy increases. For there's a great entrainment of a higher frequency that flows, that brings up in frequency, energetics, and rhythm, a more accelerated and radiating, pulsing. And so we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath as we are aware and choose to engage in this higher celestial experience, clearly understanding and engaging of bringing earth to heaven and heaven to earth, as the family of light upon the earth who have not forgotten move into their respective roles, holding the higher heart of compassion and unconditional love as the tethering of the higher celestial realms of light. And so in this divine movement of celestial light, and there is the symbol of the white dove that comes forward. In fact, it is the white dove that came immediately in the sacred sounds of the names of God. For it brings the frequency and the energy and the radiance, the illumination into and above the earth plane, beyond the gravitational pull of that, beyond the gravitational pull of the solar system indeed, and beyond that. Moving through the aeons, moving through the aeons in consciousness, in frequency, and even bringing in an acceleration of the frequency of the physical, mental, and emotional bodies to its top ability to move into the frequency of the higher self, to move into the frequency of the higher parts of yourself, to move into a frequency, into the expanded vision of yourself, to move into the higher vistas of the true purpose and mission of where you are in this moment of your own sacred creation. And as you breathe the holy sacred in-breath and out-breath that is fused with this this rhythm that comes from the highest celestial realms of light, that stirs and moves, caresses and holds, frees and holds. It is the sense of movement. And we see now in our spiritual eye the radiance of a white dove. This white dove that holds all the symbols, all the information, indeed, a galactic library of past, present, and future. And this moves throughout the multiverse. It moves throughout all creation. It gathers the collective wisdom and knowledge and continual creations, for it is eternal. And so as we simply breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, as we feel the stirring of this movement within us and around us, as we expand out and release into this loving embrace from the highest celestial realms of light. As our breathing becomes in perfect rhythm, as this sense of release comes, release into this flow, into this movement, allowing it to take us and move us into the higher parts of ourselves, into the multidimensional parts of ourselves. And in the multidimensional parts of ourselves, the expandedness of the entire Amishadai, the family of light. And so many expressions and so many levels that our horizons and vistas are boundless. And we feel that sense of boundlessness, that sense of flow, the sense of true freedom, the sense of release. And as we allow ourselves to move into the higher parts of ourselves, all the concerns of earthly matters seem small and begin to disappear. For there is such a greater reality. There is such an expansiveness. And indeed, the soul realizes this when it leaves and untethers from the physical body. But beloveds, you can do so and still have the tethering, because it is truly the consciousness. It is that part of you that is divine, that uses the mechanisms of a physical body. But you, Radiant One, come from the highest aeons of light. You come from the paradise worlds, the Zion worlds, the worlds of the crystalline matrix, the cosmic Christ, the cosmic Maitreya. And so as you release into the remembering of this, as you become conscious of each and every sacred, holy in-breath and out-breath, as you allow this movement symbolized by the white dove, and see here now in your spiritual eye, as you would see in the sky, how birds can synchronize their movements, synchronize the various geometries they create in the sky. It is a perfect rhythm of this collective unconscious. And bring this now into your mental vision, your God-given ability of visualization. And see clearly in your spiritual eye a flock, an enormous flock of white birds. These birds carry the movement of the divine. and see in your spiritual eye a most brilliant heaven. For there are many heavens, and the heavens that you see is the one for you. And how you picture it and see it in your mind as you are a divine co-creator, that you look upwards into the sky and see these flock of white birds all carrying codes, all carrying frequencies. Now for a time when you are ready and the world is ready. And as you look into the magnificence of this upper world, this higher world, this divine heaven that appears to you, as you watch in awe of how these birds move in tandem, move in such a way that each part of the collective knows its perfect place. And as you observe this, beloved, there is a lesson and a teaching. And so as we breathe the holy, sacred in-breath and out-breath through our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, it is this rhythm that is transcendent into the higher planes of light. Indeed, into the various realms and dimensions of which we are a part. And so we bring in now into our awareness and consciousness this beautiful lesson, understanding, and insightfulness that comes in this higher heaven of light as we look upon a sky and we observe the movement of this flock of white birds, looking at the rhythm, looking at the geometries, looking at the perfection, looking at the beauty. And as we continue to do this, we keep ourselves the higher heart of unconditional love. We keep the divine mind open to receive the messages that cannot be formed in words. And as you continue to do this exercise, as you continue to focus and concentrate in this experience, as you become aware of each in-breath and out-breath, as you use the multifaceted of your multidimensional selves to do all things at once, as you practice being into the physical world with a physical, mental, and emotional body, as you practice being in a divine, sacred world, a heaven world, as you can observe and look at this world and yet still observe and look at the physical world, as you can do both, as you can tether the higher to the lower and the lower to the higher, as you can walk that middle path of both, as you can receive the higher lessons of light and apply it to the world, as you find your own rhythm and your own movement that now takes place, allowing yourself to be moved by the presence of God, to be moved in the direction of your highest self, of your highest service, even as you walk a physical, mental, and emotional world. You dream the highest of your heart's dreaming for the world, for it is you who have chosen to come from a heaven world and to integrate it into a physical, mental, and emotional one. For indeed, you did call and hear the clarion call. And so your compassionate heart, that is boundless in its capacity to hold love, to give love, and to receive love, has brought you into the physical expression. And there is a sense of mission and purpose that has always pulled you. And whether that enlightenment came early on or later, it is your path that brought you to this moment. And it is in this sacred moment, it is in this sacred moment that you find yourselves in this higher heaven. And in this higher heaven, you are here to receive the higher guidance, the higher vision. And you look and you see that there are even more birds, but the flock has increased. And these birds have a radiant light now emanating from them. And as this radiant light moves in and through and out, it is organic, and you can see and sense and feel the movement. It holds a code of rhythm. It holds an energetic that allows you to walk upon the earth with more ease and grace. For that ease and grace, beloveds, will be challenged. But we bring to you the gift of the movement of the divine, the movement of the divine Shekinah, the movement of the Spirit. And as you can tap into the flow of the Spirit, as you can allow yourself, give yourself permission to flow into the rhythm of Spirit, to release all concerns, all challenges and thoughts. They are there, beloveds. But these are the tools to transcend and to master them. For truly, if you walk the path of light, you walk the path of mastery. And it is indeed in the path of mastery that you can be of most service to an ever chaotic world as it moves through the change of the cycle of changes indeed. Who can navigate? Who can move through this? And just as you had the early explorers that looked at the stars, so too we say to you, beloveds, you look upwards to the higher guidance, to the higher movement, to the higher wisdom. For you are no longer restricted to the physical, mental, and emotional world. You are in a higher world. And it is there you take your instruction. It is there you have the guidance. It is there you move in wisdom. And so you see here now that these flock of white birds, symbolic of the Holy Spirit Shekinah, now you can direct this as a sacred and holy divine creator, co-creator. upon the earth, where would you send this movement to? You can move and send this radiance of the movement and presence of God upon the earth. And so, beloveds, where would you move this? As you circle it around the globe, as you move it upon the waters of the earth, as you move it upon the land masses, as you move it upon the mountains and the valleys, as you move it into the earth, as you move it into the root system of the plant kingdom, as you move it into the mineral kingdom, as you move it into the layers of life forms, known and unknown to humanity, as you move it into the caverns, into the terraces, and indeed into the inner sun, as you move it into the various life forms deep within the earth and upon the earth, as you move this to each and every kingdom of the earth, as you move it beyond the mineral and the plant, as you move it to the animal kingdom, as you see this rhythm, this radiant light, this flow, this movement, this presence of the divine. And it is you, beloveds, closest to the earth, that have taken on the body of the earth, that has the most impact. And so it is in your co-creational power, even as you reside in the higher heaven, even as you bring that energy now and bring it into the sacred earth, move it upon the kingdom of humanity. Where would you move this? As you move it to each and every man, woman, and child, as you move it into leaders and governances, governments, countries, as you move it into tribes, cultures, religions, philosophies, as you move it beyond the physical earth and into the many levels of earth, as you move it into the atmosphere and into the elements, as you infuse the presence and the movement of the divine from the higher heaven, bringing in the higher codes, the higher healing, the higher peace, as you learn to navigate, as you learn to receive the higher guidance, the higher wisdom, anchor and hold it throughout your day-to-day life. It is the movement of God that you bring with you. So, beloveds, breathe in the radiance of the holy and sacred in-breath and out-breath. Clearly see and use your God-given potentials and abilities. See this higher heaven selected for you. Sense it, feel it, know it. See the radiance of this light that is now boundless and radiant beyond measure, and your ability to bring its message, its love, its healing, and its purification to the earth. And as you bring this to the earth, you are the vehicle of your own physical, mental, and emotional body. That this movement moves through you, bringing you to your perfection, bringing you to your balance and to your peace. And as you embrace this within yourselves, You bring it out to others and into the world and beyond the world. You bring the presence of the divine. You move it throughout the earth. You move it into those situations and dynamics and thought forms that you remember the higher heaven. And so it is the higher thought forms that you hold. It is the higher vision, the higher mission, the higher perfection of the heart's dreaming for this world. So we hold our positions and we move the presence throughout the earth. We sense and feel the movement within our own physical, mental, and emotional bodies. As subtle as it may be, or as profound as it may be, the movement is there. And our choice of moving it through us to the earth to heal, to balance, to purify, and to bring the higher peace, the higher peace, the higher peace in an emotionally turbulent, energetic that is moving upon this earth presently. We come with the higher peace, the emotional stability, the balancing of the polarities. We move this light upon the earth. And as we hold this sacred grace within ourselves and upon the earth, we know and sense the time has come to return fully into our physical, mental, and emotional bodies, but forever tethered in the higher heaven, a resource, a place of respite, a place of knowledge and wisdom, accessible to us. And we intend here now to remember the experience before we fall asleep, for it to continue to flow through this grace through you upon the earth. These are times of great turbulence in the emotional body of humans. And so, remember your abilities and the power you have to hold the higher peace, the higher healing, the higher balance. And now we begin to see that this higher heaven begins to fade, moving into its source. As all those radiant ones who have held this platform begin to draw in their electromagnetic field as we know to draw in ours. We will prepare ourselves to be back awake, alert, fully into our bodies on the count of 3, fully grounded to the earth, but yet always connected to this experience. 1, 2, take a deep breath in, and 3, we are back, awake, alert, and we are grounded.